Welcome to Parsnips and Parsimony. A lot of you have had questions about John and his house, so we decided that we would do a video about that. The first question everyone wanted to know is how John could afford this house.
He worked a lot. He lived at home. You saved a lot of money. And you didn't buy a car.
Yeah, but yes, like Mom said, I didn't do a lot outside of what I really enjoyed or what would help assist me in my career path. Aside from that, like Mom said, I don't do much. I don't own a car. I work on Mom and Dad's and they allow me to use it when I need to. I don't have many expenses. I saved almost every penny I made.
Another way John can afford the house is the house came with tenants. It is a two-family house. The upstairs is currently rented, and they pay most of the payment, the monthly payment for the rent.
Occasionally, John is hoping to have some short-term tenants for the downstairs when there's a need. Recently, there was actually 2 fires in our local community, and so John was able to extend the offer of using the home on a short-term basis until people could find a way to get a more permanent housing.
Some people ask us if we own the house or if we helped John buy it. John had to have a certain percentage down in order to buy the house, and he was able to do that. And we did help him a little bit. Because John did not have any credit, not that he had bad credit, but he had no credit, the banks did not want to touch him. So we did need to help him buy the house a little bit, but he did the vast majority himself.
Mom and Charity just love to do the home decorating. I know there were questions about it. Oh, why is Mom saying, oh, this needs to go here, we need this here? Well, because I'm not good at home decorating. I don't care. Thanks, he knows. Neither are you. So Mom and Charity just like doing this, and so I just let them do it, and it's just easier because 1, I don't have time. I'm working approximately 50 plus hours per week. So I don't have time. Secondly, I'm very bad at it. And third, why take away enjoyment from Mom and Charity? So I don't really care. It's helping me and they enjoy it. Why take away their shopping therapy?
Right. Yes, they get to go shopping at thrift stores and other places, and they've done a lot of shopping.
It has been a lot of fun.
I'm sure it has. And you know what? It's whoopee pickle.
And a lot of times John will come home after a day's work and we'll say, hey John, you just bought a couch.
Okay, whatever.
Another question you guys ask is, how did I know so much about the house? And I think in one of the videos I may have talked about it, but thought we'd bring it back here. The elderly lady here who used to own this home before the people John bought it from, many years ago, I actually took her in with the ambulance very frequently. And so over those many visits with her in the ambulance, I talked to her a lot about the house. So it's been interesting to see how it was when she lived here and how the next set of owners, how they tried to keep the home as true to its original form without, keeping it dingy. So, paint, they opened up a doorway. I think we talked about that in some of the videos. That's the reasoning of how I know Miss Virginia was so sweet, and I very much miss those days where we could sit and chat about her house.
Mm-hmm. This isn't my home.
Yes, she used to say that this was not her house. She was a very, very lovely lady. So what are some of the lessons for parents who may be watching this and, they're wondering how they can help their children get their first home, because obviously the housing market is really tough right now. What are some of the things that we experienced and learned along the way that might help other families so they can learn from our mistakes?
For starters, we mentioned that John had no credit, so try to get your kids some sort of credit. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit. Like if they make a payment every month or something like that, then they can have some credit. And also, I see Charity waving her hand over there. Are you going to mention about the envelopes with the $5 in it?
Put your kids on your credit card. On your credit card.
And that helps
So
their
that-
credit.
You're
Because
outside
I
that, John.
had credit, it says I have a 21-year history of credit because I'm on your card.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So with Charity, we hadn't done this with John, but
Thanks.
you were in a different position.
No, I
And with Charity, we actually added her as an authorized user to our credit card. And when Charity had to apply for credit, she actually had credit because she was on our credit rating, if that makes sense. So there are ways that you can get your children credit if they can't get a credit card when they're 18, under 18 by themselves, but you can make them an authorized user on your account, which will automatically start helping their credit rating. We made the mistake of not getting that for John. And so that made it much harder to get the mortgage for this house.
So we almost gave up on trying to get a loan for John because we talked to several banks, and then finally Janelle read the profile from someone, and she was reading it and said, if you've had a hard time getting a loan and no one else will give you a loan, let me try and I'll see if I can get a loan for you. So we did, called her up, and she did get a loan for us. So
Pretty amazing too.
or for John, not for us, for John.
The other thing we found out is for someone who's trying to get a mortgage, if they don't have a salary, they need to have at least 2 years of taxes to prove their income levels. And so if your kids are making money, make sure they're filing those taxes every year, because if they file at 16 and file at 17, if they want to buy a house at 18, then they have those records all in play, and that should help that situation. I guess if their salary or their job is a salary, that doesn't apply. They don't have to worry about that.
As long as you have, a salaried job and it's proven that the pay stubs are all consistent,
Okay.
then they'll be like, you have a salary job, you're good.
Okay. Things we were learning along the way that I had no idea about.
Also start them young, really young.
Yep. The
Do you,
envelope
do
system.
you remember the envelopes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what our first 2 purchases were?
I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, they were like a rotisserie oven that we purchased it. I think it was originally $10.
I think
You and
we
me,
were
you and I.
$5.
Well, no, we bought like an Oster knife as well. That was our second purchase, and we split that 50%. The rotisserie oven was a 25% split between you and me and Dad. And I think we made
found my
like.
envelope the
Oh,
other
did you?
day.
We need to break those and post them on
Really?
the.
Oh, you found your envelope?
Yeah, I kept in my oak chest.
Wow.
Okay,
Do you have
let's
our
back up just a
envelopes?
little bit here. The envelopes. I gave the kids each an envelope with $5 in it, and I said, kiddos, I have too many kids to pay for all of your college educations, so basically this is either your college or first house fund. And I know it sounds cheap doing $5, but trust me, we did a lot of work too. So it's not like we just gave them $5 and let them go. So we guided them on, okay, how can you take this $5 and turn it into a lot of money? So as John mentioned, he started
And Charity.
They actually went in together on that. They bought a rotisserie oven at
Charity,
a garage
bring it.
sale, and then they sold it on eBay. I think
we made a profit of $11.
Okay, you got them each? Okay.
Yeah, so I think we sold it for like 40.
Out the rotisserie oven.
Yeah.
Yes, we parted out another thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So-
really, really fun.
And then there was a long series of things. You remember the lawnmower?
Yes, the lawnmower incident. There's actually a YouTube video on that, so link it up there or there. Yeah, watch that one. That actually kind of like this. No, just this. That was when Peter, myself, and Dad just kind of covered what we couldn't cover.
Right.
But yeah, we bought it for $250, I think. Peter bought half of it. Dad and I split another quarter. We bought it for $250, sold it for $750, or it was $200 plus the bagger. It was $250.
Yes, yeah.
And Peter bought the bagger straight up or something.
Something like that. So so then we needed to do a little work on it.
Starter.
Yeah, we replaced the starter, and then we sold it for, if I remember correctly, $750.
I'm pretty sure.
So we split the money between whoever it was, and then anyway, that's how the kids got started, and that gave them some money to work with, some seed money we call it, and then from that they did what they wanted to do.
And you know what that's called? A crash course in economics at 6 or 7. Yeah, you don't need to teach kids at 18 about economics. Start them at 6.
Someone asked how many rooms total in his house. Looks big, and congratulations.
Approximately 4 bathrooms, I think.
3.
3 or 4. I don't even know.
Right. It's hard because when we purchased the place, well, Miss Virginia was never upstairs. At her late 90s, she was not going upstairs. So I'm not really familiar with the upstairs, and with it being occupied with tenants, we did a quick walkthrough, but we really didn't do a thorough looking at the condition upstairs. So we really don't know totally what we have upstairs until our tenants move out, which, you know, who knows when that's going to be. But that's all right for us. A lot of people ask, why didn't Charity and Colin buy this house? And it's kind of funny how we found out that this house was going for sale. It had been listed earlier this year. We frequently see this house, and last fall there was a for sale sign, and at that time Art and I actually went and checked it out, and it wasn't going to work for John's price range at the time. And so the house went under contract, and we be going by it, and we would see it, and the for sale sign went down, and nobody moved in, and we watched it some more.
And a septic tank drove down the driveway.
The original buyer, they said, okay, we're gonna buy it. Then they got the inspection, and they saw that the septic tank was
Failing.
Yeah, $10,000. This person was a first-time home buyer. They quickly got cold feet because they didn't know that houses cost that much to fix. So they were like, nope, not yet, nope. So they fixed the septic tank, the previous owners, and we saw them. Mom and Dad walked over and said, yo, what's going on? And they're like, oh, we're selling it again. And they're like, really? It's not in the market yet, is it?
After speaking to them, that their plan was to put it back onto the market. And so back to the fact about Charity and Colin, they had, shall I call it, right of first refusal, but it just didn't work. It wasn't the right timing for them, and it just didn't fit for what they needed right now. So after they decided that, they said, John, go ahead, if you can. Yeah, if you can, go for it. So that's a little bit of a story of why Charity and Colin didn't purchase this. Now, if you go over to her channel, a few weeks after John got this house, they went and looked at another home, and Charity tells you all about that experience.
Yeah.
But again, I will put the link somewhere
well, in the general vicinity of this video.
Maybe in the description too, in case I forget to put it in the cards. Someone else had mentioned that when they clicked on the video, they were expecting a fixer-upper for John. And John's current work situation, working 50 plus hours, just does not work for a fixer-upper. And that for some people, fixing up is a great way to generate more income when you're buying a property. But in John's case, that was not the right option for him. And so he has, a pretty well situated house. He has the tenants and obviously the outside upkeep. But that is feasible for him being single with a very full-time job. So if you're looking for your children, if one of your children is a fixer-up type, pulling out a brown shag carpet, painting walls, those are some easy things that can help. It brings the price of the house down, but it makes it easy to make the money back when you resell it. And Art's mom, being a realtor back in the day, was able to help Art with his first home and subsequent homes that he had owned and rented before we purchased our homes. And if you remember right, our current home had the brown shag carpet, it had some pretty wild paint colors, and it had a wall of mirrors.
And it had cats before we bought it.
And use your imagination, what it smelled like. But we were young, and ripping out carpet, painting, redoing the floors, I mean, it was worth it for us to be able to get the home that we felt we needed. This house was built sometime in the 1800s. There's a lot of different timelines of when this house was actually built, and we spoke to the town historian to see if he had any records on this house, and he didn't currently. So we're thinking mid to late 1800s from what we can tell. It has so much Victorian charm to it. Even today, Art and I were out on the front porch coming in, and it just has so much charm to it. Really, the folks who lived here over the years really did a nice job taking care of it. And I'm excited for John to own it and being able to keep that historical feel to the house. And Charity and I are trying to keep with decorating that same historical feel.
Oh, it's definitely leaning.
Yeah, some modern, but keep that historical feel because it is really, really charming. It's like these, they can't see it now. These are all stained glass windows behind us and just beautiful. So I think that should answer most of the burning questions you guys had. Thanks so much for watching, coming along, and be sure to check out Charity's channel, A Loop and a Hook, where her video all about her looking at a home for her and Colin and Caitlin are on there. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you for our next video.
And now we'll show you a little bit of what the house looks like now.
So this mattress here actually needs to go into the
Three-season
three-season room out here. I'm gonna turn the light on. There we go.
Best room in the house.
Yeah. No, not yet. The
Well, it will
living room is the nicest.
Well, it will be
We
the
just
best
got a carpet for in here. We just need to finish putting the daybed together. Not sure if we're gonna end up keeping this here or where it's gonna go. Haven't figured that quite out yet. But then the dining room table here. Still need to get a chandelier for up there. We're going to add that in at some point in the near future. And then hoping to find a hutch, a small
I think we're going to put the hutch right here.
Yeah, it might be
It's gonna be
there,
either there or there.
or it might be over on this wall. But I'm not sure.
I will go
I don't know. I love this cozy living room. I don't know, it's bigger than ours. And I think it'll be really nice for hospitality, John. Then in here, we've got to mess with this still. We're thinking we're going to move this bed over to this wall. Still working on curtains. We thought those curtains here would work, but it turns out these windows are giantly long. And then the kitchen's a work in progress. This is where most of the stuff is getting stored. Either it's staying or getting moved to other places in the house. And Charity, when she goes out to thrift stores and things, she's always looking for things for us.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there is. We got to do some cleaning here. I think we like this little table here, which would be. We just need to find some little chairs for it. Very retro.
It fits the house.
I know. I really like this.
And this is my checklist.
Yes, your to-do list.
Yeah. Still got a lot of stuff to do on it.
Haven't really done much with the bathroom, other than putting a little stand there. Still need to give that some TLC.
Yeah.
And the famous refrigerator. Very helpful when our refrigerator broke.
Still got these two magnets came with the house. Best part of the house.
And then we have part of this bed set up here.
Eventually.
And then this is another queen size bed here. And we have curtains, we just need to
I hung the
finish.
sofa Saturday. Yeah. I hung those up. I can't talk. I hung those up last Saturday.
Did good. You did good. So,
We still need the
and
third rod though.
we have a Christmas tree
Christmas tree.
for Christmas, but it's not Christmas yet. And that's about as far
Except we
as.
forgot the laundry room. Which
Oh, that's right.
We had to show them that.
Oh.
Boy.
Oh, there's a story that goes with that.
Oh yeah, there's a story.
Why is your dryer looking like that?
Because it caught on fire. Yeah, what happened is I smelled it, like, I started my laundry, 3 minutes later I started, something doesn't smell right. So I come in here and I see fire in the back.
So that's something John needs to actually do is clean out. This is the dryer pipe right here to the outside. So we need to give that a good cleaning before we start that up again.
We did tell John, don't use this and then walk away. Make sure you're like right here the first time you use your dryer.
Right.
And I was.
So,
You have your work cut out for you.
I do. Of course I do. I always do. It's almost a feat.
And in case anybody was worried, we actually did have a fire extinguisher here in case John needed it.